Welcome to On the Chain. This is Jeff here with co-host Chip. What's
up,
is
Jeff?
going on? Chip, man, it's been like a year since we've been on live together, at least a year. But man, I'll tell you what,
6 days.
or maybe 2 or 3 or whatever. Yeah, Ripple, XRP, banks are moving money on crypto. It's getting crazy out there. You know, there's so much talk about cryptocurrency and the Super Bowl, eToro, Coinbase, FTX. Man, it was like a madhouse with the crypto ads, the crypto commercials on the Super Bowl. That doesn't get more mainstream. Man, it's getting ready. It's getting heated up. So if you're ready to kick this thing off, we're going to talk about all that and more.
Let's do it, Jeff. Let's get going.
Let's go. All right.
Welcome to On the Chain.
Jeff, it's interesting.
We've
been off for a little bit. You know, last show we were on together was last Thursday. Here we are Tuesday. Man, it's almost been a week. But I have to tell you, tonight we're going to dive into some pure fire. This is my kind of show tonight. So
fire.
Wake the neighbors, phone your friends, the kids, let them sleep through it. But this is a show. We're going to get into some pure fire right here.
Jim D is like, why was there no show Sunday, Saturday,
man, you got to
Monday?
read the tweets, man. Got to read the tweets. Got to read the tweets.
However,
Jeff,
there was one Sunday morning.
There was one Sunday morning. Yes, there was. And last night, well, the last 2 days, we had Valentine's Day. Okay. Not streaming on Valentine's Day. And we had the Super Bowl. Not streaming during the Super Bowl because I'm watching the Super Bowl. So there you go. But this is pure fire, Jeff. And, you know, Ripple put out a cool blog post again today. But I thought we'd get started out with one of our favorites of all time. And that's none other than Daddy G, the Marxist leftist shenanigans.
Let's not talk about Gary tonight.
Well, we're going to talk about him because we're going to have fun mocking. That's where we're going to have a lot of good time. And then we're going to talk about other people. We're going to talk about him. We don't always talk about him. We took a little bit of time off, but we're going to talk about this. This was he was on Liz Claiborne today on Fox Business. Finally,
look at that. He was.
Now the best part of this, first of all, I want to give a shout out to Alex. You know him at Coining203 for putting this together and then giving us the heads up. Really appreciate that, Alex. Big shout out.
Man, and I set an alarm to even tune in, and then I got busy and I wasn't able to tune in and watch it. It would have been great to watch it live.
But you know what's great about it, though? We're going to watch it together. I've not seen it before, and we're going to comment together. We're not going to play the whole 8 minutes. We're going to play a little bit, then we'll comment, but it's sure to be fun. So why don't we start in and
tune in for the next hour as we dissect this 7-minute
We're not going to spend that. We got too much fire going on tonight, Jeff. A lot of fire.
All right, let's go. Start this thing up.
As you said, $2 trillion is happening on centralized exchanges or lending platforms. And you saw yesterday we had an announcement that
Jeff, before we go any further, I just want to say how awesome it is that there's a Binance ad running next to his face. It's just the greatest thing ever. It's fast, easy, and secure. Meanwhile, he's spouting his normal talking points propaganda. And there's
as you see at the Wall Street SEC probing affiliates of Binance US arm.
US arm. Binance is running a commercial. This is just
it's great.
Can't make this up. This is just beautiful.
Sure they're doing that on purpose.
I'm sure they are, but it's just fun. Sorry, Jeff, I got distracted by that, but it's easy to get distracted because I was watching that and not listening to what Gensler said, but let's listen in.
I can speak about with regard to one of the large lending platforms.
One of those large lending platforms called Binance by chance. By the way, Gary just signed up 3 people on Binance watching the ad running next to your face. Okay.
Why does it matter if 95% of the activity is happening there? What's important is investors get basic investor protections against fraud and manipulation. And as many of the tokens on these platforms may well be securities, that's where the Securities and Exchange Commission comes in.
Now, see, Jeff, interesting what he just said there. They may well be securities. He's kind of come off that a little bit.
Is he in a cabin?
Well, all I know is somebody made the comment earlier on Twitter that he's got some interesting decor. Because look, that's like a pillow. He's got a zipper or teeth on it. I don't know what that is. It looks like, I don't know what that thing is there, man.
At least he's got a fireplace. He's got those 2 tiny little windows, but he's got the mantle going. But
Yeah,
it's
he's
not
got
the same mantle that he normally talks in front of because there's a door in the other one and no sofa.
Well, Jeff, when you got $120 million
Hmm.
in your bank account, you can pretty much have as many mantles as you would like. So, he's.
Yeah, maybe it's the other side of his room, and he has two fireplaces in
This
the
might
same
take
room.
all show, right, Jeff? You're right. I think you're right. I think it might take all show.
What are we, 30
It's,
seconds in?
yeah, we're like 30 seconds into the video to an 8-minute video, which could potentially take all damn
I
day.
told you.
There were some really good
All right.
comments that I want to get to as well because there were some good ones in there early. And look, we start off right here
Oh,
with Liz
there you
Taylor.
go.
Liz Taylor. Gensler was Hillary's chief. This is one of the comments somebody had earlier that I wanted to put on there. Chief financial officer during her campaign.
Mm.
He had to know who paid for the Steele dossier and the sorry, man, those are words that I cannot say on YouTube, but you guys can read it. But surely enough, as the person who's the money person, you actually know where the money went. You actually know
everything that was going on.
Yeah, and this is interesting because, it's funny how this is all just sort of kind of coming out, a little bit drip here, a drip there, and tells you exactly what he's all about.
Gee, Delta, is this another get together and bash on Gary episode?
Partially, yes. Partially it is, but not the whole thing. Because we're going to jump into some other We're going to jump into some other stuff too, because Ted Cruz is on fire. I'm going to play 2 clips from Ted Cruz, which is just phenomenal. But we will get through it together. Let's do it.
Tom Cruise.
Well, you're talking about the BlockFi settlement, where BlockFi paying out $100 million for handling or at least putting together, allowing people to park their crypto in an exchange, at least an account for a pretty incredible monthly interest payment. You said that those were unregistered and that they have to register. Is BlockFi now registering? Can you at least give us an update on that?
Well, they entered into a settlement arrangement to do so in a timely way. And importantly, what we found there is that not only was it not complying with what's called the 1933 Act or registration, but also the Investment Company Act of 1940, offering the public returns by pulling those assets and investing those assets, the crypto assets. But we're working with them. We're trying to see if we can get this whole area, these crypto exchange.
No, here's what it really comes down to, Jeff. You, the little guy, the serf, cannot make, according to Gary, you can do 8% in a bank, but you cannot earn any sort of money on your investment. And you make it very hard to do that. It seems to be like that's really what's going on here.
And I hear Gary Gensler speak now. It's kind of like the teacher in Charlie Brown. It's kind of like wah 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 wah.
Pretty much.
And then we have our commentary, and he goes wah 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 wah.
Well, the thing about it is, it's the same thing over and over. My God, it's like they have to come in, they have to register, come in and see us, come in and register, and if you come in and register and see us, and they were doing this and off the backs of others and investments, shut up, Gary.
And lending platforms inside an investor protection envelope, and then if the public wishes, based upon that, to invest or even to speculate, that's up to the public. But to have the basic protections of protecting against fraud, manipulation, to have disclosure, these are the things that we have in our stock markets, and really important if this technology is going to go anywhere.
Well,
that's not if it's going to go anywhere. Sorry, Gary, I got some big news for you.
Go anywhere.
It's going to go everywhere, and it's going to be without you.
Just look at the green.
If it goes anywhere. This is another one. They have the XRP price chart next to his face. This is great. I mean, whoever's over there at Fox Business is just rolling him, trolling him big time. It's so awesome.
Oh, it's perfect.
And again, he's looking out after the investors, Jeff. He's looking out after,
Well, of course, he really cares about the investors.
Yeah, he's really, really going to look out for you. You can't earn that interest. No, you got to come and
no
talk
one
to
ever.
us. Said no one ever.
Get it, because you want to protect investors. And I truly believe that that's at the heart of what you try and do. But it has been an exponential growth spurt that we have seen. I mean, did you see the Super Bowl, Gary? All of those crypto commercials, they had him calling it the Crypto Bowl.
Well, but just think about this, Liz. In 2005, the advertisements of this Super Bowl were a bunch of mortgage companies like AmeriQuest, which That was right into the '08 crisis. Back in 2000, there were 14 Super Bowl ads about .com companies, many of which went defunct later. So I wouldn't sort of confuse the advertisement with the credibility behind some of that.
See,
Man,
this is
what
where,
a piece of
what a piece
what
of
a wa-
crap. First of all, Mr. Irrelevant Daddy G, who strings together his web of analogies that make sense to nobody, and it doesn't affect credibility. Here's the credibility on the line. It's yours, and you are going to be
holy
embarrassed
crap.
like no other.
I mean, you're
head
talking
of the-
about massive exchanges, right? You've got FTX, eToro, and
Yeah, this
Coinbase,
isn't
and
pets.com,
Coinbase
Jeff.
is publicly traded. Yeah, it's
Right.
not. And granted, some of those .coms, they were empty shells at that point when they were throwing their money around. And now he's mentioning mortgage companies in 2005. Come on. I mean, mortgage companies. I mean, that's a whole nother conversation, Chip, to get into, their responsibility for what happened. But
This is
it's
a
so
nut job.
crazy. How, I mean, you could use that example for anything. Yeah, we
Well-
could look at all the retailers. How about all the commercials with Barnes and Noble and Borders books? Where are they now? Oh yeah, they're gone. I mean, come on.
And look how
Or
he
how
talks.
about Sports Authority? Oh yeah, that's gone.
Look how he talks down to Liz Claiborne. Look, he is it. What's her name? Liz Clayman. I said Claiborne. That's a
Clayman.
clothing line. Liz Clayman. He talks down to her. Well, Liz, don't you know?
Yeah.
Doesn't give credit. Like he was ready for the question, and he had his talking point. And again, he made no sense and fell flat on his face. Let's try to get
Back
through this.
back in the day at MIT.
At Mate, yeah, Gary. So listen, it's not looking good for you. You were the money man when you were funding false things that I
false
mean. This
narrative.
is stuff you want to talk about going down. This kind of stuff, Jeff, is bigger than Watergate. This is like, and you know what they always say, Jeff? The cover up is always usually worse than the crime.
Yeah, there you go. So we heard it here first. Gary Gensler just said Super Bowl ads are all scams.
well,
Fernando.
well, that may be, but not.
That's
Listen,
kinda-
this was one of the more interesting Super Bowls in a lot of ways. First of all, the game was great. Second of all, I actually enjoyed a lot of especially of the crypto variety. They were at some of the better ones out there. I mean,
It
what are
was
you going to
funny.
say, Gary? What is he going to say? I thought they were fantastic. Oh
The
no,
Larry
they were.
the Larry David was actually funny.
Larry David was good. eToro was good. The one with LeBron, that was. I mean, I thought there was a lot of stuff, but I got to tell you, the Coinbase one, I said it was going to be number one, and people laughed at me on Twitter, Jeff. They joked
I
at me.
can't believe I didn't see it live. I missed it. I didn't
They
see it on
goofed
the
at
Super Bowl.
me, and some people I know, they're like, "Yeah, I saw that. We didn't know what it was. We were chasing it around the screen trying to scan it." Well, 20 million people scanned it within 1 minute. And check this
That's
out.
amazing.
It's still the number 2 downloaded app in the App Store. And today's Tuesday. So you don't think that
unreal.
ad was amazingly effective? Then you're wrong. Because
Oh,
if they
it's
had done some
massive.
glitzy thing with all the, with Larry David and stuff, Jeff,
They
let
would
me
get
ask you this
nothing.
one.
Zero.
If you ask most people and say, "Hey, Larry David?" "Oh yeah, Larry David." What was the name of the company in that commercial? I don't know. Everyone knows Coinbase. They scanned it. Went to Coinbase. You can win Bitcoin. So to me, and everyone's like, "It was a horrible ad." I'm like, well, not in effectiveness. It wasn't.
It was very effective, and that's Chris Donlevy is saying, not the UK, no adverts, disappointed. And on that note,
Hey,
Matt
what's up,
Matt Hamilton comes in. What is going on, Matt? Good to see you on.
Good to see it. But I think for the most part, it was exciting. It was exciting just being an investor and being able to see the creativity and how they wanted to position themselves. And again, so many of them. And I love this, that while Gary's talking, in a little tiny window, you've got right next to him some of the commercials, like the one up there right now is eToro.
Dude, it's classic.
The Coinbase one.
Classic.
By the way, I have to say, Jeff, one of the best troll tweets ever, and I will pull it up.
Oh my God.
Was
Yes.
FTX? We'll pull that up, but the FTX one was one of the best. And this is how it's done. FTX. But we'll get into that. Let's get through this video
All right,
before
let's get through this. We're
consumes
2
the
minutes,
entire show.
almost 3 minutes in.
All right.
Or the viability of these projects.
Well, let me tell you why I'm
It's
not.
the Doge.
Banks have
Shiba.
advertised in the Super Bowl. They've gone under.
Oh, Jeff, do I?
Oh, here we
don't
go.
mess with
Look at that.
Liz Clayman's gonna
Look at this
slap him.
sourpuss. Look at that look on his face too. What a
Thanks,
sourpuss.
Gary. Listen, I love everyone has a bank. I mean, banks are great, but you know, Gary.
Oh, but some of them are out of business too.
Some of them did go out of business, Gary. Some of them got bailouts.
Gary.
Certain drink companies. It's part of sort of the free market, and I understand that this is very much a brand new and nascent
Hang on, hold
investment
the phone.
operation
Hold
or
the phone.
opportunity for
Pause
people.
that.
But
I just want to say, legendary,
Yes.
a brand new YouTube member of On the Chain.
That's right. That was something we
Wanna-
rolled out kind of secretly tonight, Jeff. We didn't tell anybody, but of course, legendary. It makes sense would be the very first one. It's in the name, legendary. So that is really cool. And what that is just look, people reach out, they email us, they're like, how do I support the channel? Now we send them to onthechain.io, but you got to go off to another website. Now, the other thing you can do is you can also become, and again, you'll notice that when you become a member, and there's three tiers, so you can choose what you want. And the perks and everything will go along with it. Part of it is one of the meetups that we're planning, a virtual meetup with the two of us. But we were like kind of just keeping quiet and letting them know. So it's really cool that Legendary found it. But you guys can hit the join button if you're interested in supporting the channel and do your own thing. Go ahead, Jeff.
Somebody throw that up. Appreciate you, legendary Tom Breton. You know what's really cool, Chip, is that we got a lot of new people coming in here and commenting and stuff. And obviously we have the best and the brightest that wander into here on the chain. But Tom Breton, Moon Lambo points out Gary never brings up the fourth prong of the Howey test, the common enterprise. But these are decentralized ledgers. And that's probably because it won't stick if he tries to bring it up. And I think he kind of trips all over himself. He only brings up one of the prongs of the Howey test.
The same prong over and over again. And the funny part about that, Jeff, is that this is something that John Deaton talks about all the time when he says the apples and the whole thing about the Howey, the test is about, or the oranges, I'm sorry, the oranges, apples, what the hell? Oranges were not a security. It was the whole scheme behind it. And that's a very good point you're bringing up right there, because the whole idea of the common enterprise. So it's the scheme behind it. It's the packaging of it. XRP itself, inherently not a security. Go ahead, Jeff.
So here's another one from EC2189. Chip, Jeff, I can't tell the smell if it's the odor is BS.
Might be.
Coming out of Gensler's mouth, or Gary getting smoked by the entire crypto market and the investors. And that is a big point right there. 100%. There's so much more that's getting ready to unload, so to speak. Unload. They've neglected many people with it, around the world. But now when they've tried to neglect the crypto space and crypto investors, they haven't seen anything yet. I mean, just that idea, that little inkling of the infrastructure bill and the way people came out for that, and people are going to come out a lot stronger, fast and furious, and they haven't seen anything yet.
Well, round one is truckers. Round two, crypto enthusiasts, Jeff.
Oh, you see that nut job over in Canada. I don't know who she was, but she kind of came out to and was talking about how they're going to take away crypto and all these things up in Canada. I mean, just now they're closing down people's bank accounts. This tells me why people need crypto and the ledger even more, not less, up in Canada.
That's exactly right, and that's what I love. That's the greatest use case of digital assets, especially Bitcoin. It's in a private wallet. Who's going to touch it? What are you going to do? How are you going to find it? Good luck on that. Let's get through the rest of this. Now, I was just noticing that Liz Clayman is also trolling Gary Gensler with a complete green suit that she's wearing because the market's green. It's just these little subtleties that Fox. Now, if you notice the Fox Business
now
logo,
that you mention it, how great is that?
The Fox Business logo always green, Jeff? It's for some reason it doesn't seem to be. I always remember it being blue, but anyway, there's just a lot of trolling going on here. It's just fantastic. But let's listen in. We're going to get through this, guys. Maybe we'll we got so much else to do. Maybe we don't even need to listen to the rest of it. But I love Liz. She's very smart.
That's
really
good.
feels
That's good
like it's
stuff.
been a transformational 12 months. I mean, you look at how many people and businesses are choosing to invest in or accept cryptocurrency. So I want to get to the SEC's approval of futures ETFs, Bitcoin futures ETFs. My question to you is this: you've rejected a bunch of offers when it comes to Bitcoin spot ETFs, whether it was Skybridge or all kinds of names. You had Grayscale's application that's being assessed at the moment. You've rejected Wisdom Trees, Fidelity, Krypton. Cite every single time the SEC cites, you need more to know about how they're going to prevent share manipulation, fraud, and lack of liquidity. What could any of these funds that are dying to get their ETF out there say to you that would get you to yes when it comes to preventing manipulation?
Well, again, I don't want to get ahead of any specific project, and it comes in front of our five-member commission. But generally speaking, what's really important is these underlying markets, Bitcoin and the other markets, the underlying cash.
All right, Jeff, I can't even take it anymore.
There we go.
It's just
the
the rest of the interview is going to be exactly the same, complete trash, garbage.
It should just kind of be like MIT, Howie Ted, MIT. It's basically, that's all I hear. Holy crap. He starts off and he's just like, again. I mean, who says that, right? Someone asks you a question. Again, again, I already told you this once. I'm not going to tell you it again.
So I love this one, Jeff. So Charlie Gasperino chimed in about this interview. Let's hear what he had to say. He said that, watch Liz Kleeman's interview with Gary Gensler. Interesting how divorced from reality he is. He's worried about unregistered XRP, PFOF, block trading, ESG disclosures, when the Fed's money pumping created dozens of new asset classes that will blow up on investors if and when the Fed tightens. Now, this right here is where Charles Gasperino is spot on. And if you want to look at if you want to look at the mortgage-backed securities and what really brought down the gauntlet in 2008, 2009 was this phony baloney stuff, the garbage that was created, allowed to exist. And then you got to look back, if you want to look at the SEC's biggest failure point, was when you had a Ponzi scheme and you had a whistleblower for 9 years, 8 to 9 years, talking about, and I don't know if we can say it, but it was talking about this, and people lost billions, Jeff.
Ridiculous.
Just incredible. And the SEC failed at every juncture to even do an investigation. They protect, but they don't protect the investors. And what do you think about his statement here?
Well, you know what I think about his statement is he put it all in one tweet, what took us 20 minutes.
That's pretty good, Jeff. That's why Twitter only allows so many characters. You got to be succinct. You can't.
That's
can't be going on and on and on and stuff.
But I like Oscar over here. We haven't seen Oscar commenting. It's like Oscar disappeared. I don't know where Oscar's been, but Oscar's been gone for a little while. Now he's back. So, but Chucky said Gary's second upcoming book, Divorced from Reality.
This is a good.
And that's it. I think.
Title.
Wow. I think that's solid. So interesting how Divorced from Reality is, but I like that. His next book, straight out of MIT, Divorced from Reality. I love it.
Straight out of MIT. So, Jeff, there's two things that I think we should take a look at. Because again, pure fire. And, a lot of people have given a bad rap and say, well, Congress, the senators, the reps are not doing it. Meanwhile, we've got some outspoken, some of the best, Tom Emmer, we have Warren Davidson, we have Ted Cruz now. And Ted Cruz's last disclosure, he put in there that he owned Bitcoin because they have to disclose, well, they're supposed to, they don't have to. They don't always seem to have to do it. Even their stock trades, they don't always do it. But I thought that's pretty incredible, some of the stuff that's going on. And Ted Cruz is absolutely, go make sure I share the, I want to go on right here, but this is Ted Cruz. Oops, let me go back here. This was on, I don't know what he was doing, something called Verdict with Ted Cruz. I don't know if it's his own like podcast, but anyway,
this isn't like Coffee Hour with Gary Gensler.
Oh no, this is not. This is bringing it down. Yeah, this is like really good stuff. No, that's like. Did you notice he stopped doing those? Ding, 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 ding,
well, that's because we commented on them. I think we were probably the only ones. we were probably the only ones to watch and comment.
No, everyone trolled them big time.
I know everybody trolled those. They were horrible.
Here we go. Let's watch this. A good segment right here.
These authoritarians hate Bitcoin and they hate crypto, and it's for the same reason. Why do they hate Joe Rogan? Because they can't control him. He's not subject to their authoritarian power. Why do they hate Bitcoin? Because they can't control it. It is a system of currency outside of the monopoly control of the U.S. government. And I got to say, as I've addressed, I spoke at a big crypto conference in Austin several months ago, and I said, listen, you need to understand this administration, I believe, is going to go after you and is going to try to destroy you. And by the way, that's a pattern of authoritarians. China, communist China.
Watch how he weaves this together, Jeff. This is brilliant.
This is good. But, he said something so critical at this moment, that this is what, they want to come after you. And they want to, in this whole control mechanism, this control mode. And he's spot on, because what we just saw and what we just witnessed happen in Canada, I was really, shocked to see, the level of depravity that we're seeing coming out of the government up in Canada, and the fact that they were actually willing to focus in on, not just the money sharing platforms, the Send or whatever, but they also single out cryptocurrency. It's just like one step, and this is what he's pointing out, and it's a massive state. If you were to see Ted Cruz talk about this without the actual fact of stuff happening, you'd be like, yeah, it can't happen, right? Maybe it will, maybe it won't. And then we see it, how we witnessed it this week in Canada. Shit, it's crazy.
It is. I want to put this up here. This is Hussein Barakachani. Says, huge thank you, Jeff, Chip, and the team. Thanks for marshaling the troops, rousing the army, and keeping all of us informed. Yeah, and thank you, Hussein. Appreciate that a lot. That's always really great. Appreciate the huge support. Yeah, I mean, we can't do this without you guys. I mean, you guys are the show. You're the other show going on in the chat. So we love your comments, and it's great. But let's listen to the rest of it, because this right here is where it gets really good.
Authoritarians, China, communist China, outlawed Bitcoin for the exact same reason. Why does Elizabeth Warren hate Bitcoin? For the same reason that she in China hates Bitcoin, because neither one of them can control it. And the theme through all of this is the power of freedom to be not subject to the arbitrary whims of those in government power.
Boom, Jeff. Thoughts? Wow, right?
Yeah,
Opened it up.
It really did, and Jim D, kind of agree with what Jim D is saying over there, regarding credibility, but, he's trying to regain it. He's trying to pull it back in. We'll see what happens with that. But those statements, the fact we have some, strong powers that are fighting, for clarity within the crypto space, that are fighting to maintain it, because they also understand the bigger battle. And I think that's Chip, what he mentioned is the bigger battle. That's what we're up against. And we're starting to see
absolutely.
We're starting to see, it creep up into Canada. Canada is the first place it started, and it's, man, I mean, it's crazy.
You see what they're trying to do. They're trying to use force. And again, this is where almost every, in a modern democracy, and in any democracy, the politicians forget that they work for us. We don't work for them. They don't tell us what to do. We tell them what to do. And when that table turns, you see what starts to happen, because people will ignore it, go about their daily lives. But when you see prices increase 7, 12, 15%, and the government officials seem to be okay with it, well, that's when the people are like, hey, we're the ones, we the people, we're in charge. Yeah,
that's it. And Chip, that I can't remember who that woman was. I'd sent you that clip.
Oh, I have the clip too.
Yeah, she was the woman here in DC, the attorney, talking about the Constitution, and talking about what it takes to, what the responsibilities are of the federal government. And then if the federal government doesn't uphold the responsibility, it comes down to the state. And if the state neglects to uphold their responsibility, it falls back to the people, and it's outlined in the Constitution. And she said it very, very well. Just, perfect, spot on. And we're starting to see more and more inklings of that tenacity, starting to show itself. And I think that's important.
right
and
on.
it's tied in right here with the whole crypto space. So that's what's awesome.
Well, that's the whole thing. It's like there's always a revolution, then there's an evolution. The revolution starts it. And we've been, some of us have seen it in our lifetimes where you had what happened with the dot-com boom, and then the collapse of the dot-com boom, and then you saw mortgage-backed securities crumble, and then you saw, but the crypto, I would say revolution now, and it's becoming an evolution because now we're seeing use cases and DeFi and all these other things start growing out of it.
Yep. Chip, comment on that.
Guys, stop thinking you know
James.
what's going on up here. There is no force, no violence. Don't be like Gary. That's true. That's so funny because we were Jeff and I were talking over the weekend. We're like, hey, don't be a Gary. Be more like a Brad Garlinghouse and go ahead and subscribe. We were talking about like, hey, whatever you want to do, you don't want to be a Gary. Nobody wants to be a Gary, at least Gensler. It's okay if you're a regular Gary.
That's it.
Or if you're Fafa Flow High or Baba Booey. That's okay. You can be that Gary too. But
hey, we had a Jim D. Now we have a Matt D. Check that out.
This is getting interesting. A Jim D and a Matt D. Huh.
And a Matt D. And he's got a Ford logo over there too. It says here also how convenient that case is taking time, giving them time to convince everyone the SEC will be the prime regulator for crypto. That is interesting that they're buying themselves time, with stuff that's happening with LBRY. Kind of brought that up, well, we have something in the keep on that, just some crazy stuff.
So Jeff, then I have one small clip, 2-minute clip on, this is another one with Ted Cruz, but remember we were hearing 2 weeks ago that in days and then in a week, there was going to be an executive order coming out of, off the president's desk. And then the dog started wagging and then the other things kind of took over. But he answers he's asked the question about what does he think of it? Do you want to hear that answer?
Yeah.
Let's just listen in.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right.
What is to stop them from clamping down on Bitcoin? You've already heard rumblings out of the government. What is the likelihood that Biden does that?
So, look, they may well, and I am quite concerned about it. This administration could kill crypto. When I talked to the conference in Austin, there are a lot of folks in the crypto world who are a little bit utopian. That they have a view that we are inevitable, that Bitcoin is inherently superior to all other forms of money. I will say one of the things I like about it is it's a potential hedge against inflation. And given this administration spending trillions and driving up trillions in debt, I'm interested in the hedge in inflation as they're devaluing the dollar. And so I like Bitcoin as a hedge against inflation. But the point I made at this conference is y'all need to understand government can destroy you. I asked, how many of y'all have heard of Napster? And they all did. And I said, listen, it's easy to think we're happily in our sort of Austin peaceful place. And I think Bitcoin is actually where Silicon Valley was maybe 15 or 20 years ago, which is at a fork in the road, where Silicon Valley could have chosen to go towards a libertarian utopia. Leave us alone. Let's be entrepreneurs. Let's have freedom. Or they could have done what they did, which is to go down the socialist woke path of we exercise power, we are totalitarian, and we're hard leftist woke. And unfortunately, Silicon Valley took the wrong choice. I think Bitcoin and crypto more generally is at that same fork in the road. I hope that they go the libertarian way. I hope they go the small business, leave us alone, let us be entrepreneurs. That is really potent. So I'm trying to encourage it. But absolutely, there is a very real and potent threat from the Biden administration that they will go after it, that they will try to destroy it. And I'm going to fight against that because I think it is a huge, huge industry going forward. And I don't want to see the idiot politicians in Washington drive it out of America and send it overseas. It won't disappear. But Washington is perfectly capable of sending the jobs overseas and sending that business overseas. I think that would be catastrophic.
That's interesting. Yeah, that's a really, really solid point that he brought up. First, I guess to tie into this notion, and GDLT said, that Ted read the BTC as Napster script. And I don't want to say Bitcoin and Napster have any correlation with one another. And I think that, with Napster, there was some reasoning as to why they put them out of business, or went after them. And mainly it was because of music sharing, and people were, yelling, and Metallica was kind of on the forefront of yelling about their rights as musicians, and, their earned right, the copyright of the music, and et cetera, et cetera. So, to relate that to Bitcoin and Napster being comparable, but I think that, some of the things that he's referencing there, Chip, are kind of, critical that, yes, this administration, and they've voiced it, and we've seen Pocahontas, and we've seen Janet Yellen, and we've seen, Brad the Shermanator, and we've seen a couple others that are very, very antagonistic to the crypto space, including Daddy G himself, that just all seem to have a huge chip on their shoulder, and they have an agenda,
Chip?
A big chip. But they have an agenda, and man, what are your thoughts? It's kind of crazy.
One part I do disagree with what he said. He said, "I hope that the community doesn't goes the way of libertarian and not the way of central." But the whole idea, and I think what Ted Cruz is missing, is that the whole idea of decentralization is inherently freedom. So if you got a centralized exchange, that's one thing, but the digital assets themselves, I understand the point he was trying to make. And again, you don't know the audience he's speaking to, but that's the whole point of decentralization, is that it's not going to go that way. And it's not going to be up to a bunch of people who are going to decide where it goes. It's going to be up to us, because the markets will decide whether it's worthy or not. The market will decide whether Bitcoin hits 100 or 200 or 400,000, or XRP goes to 15, 20, or 40. The market decides. The market chooses winners and losers. That's us. Not when it's other alternative,
Yes.
forces. That's when we start to get into a little bit of a crunch, and that's where. How about something fun, Jeff? I want to show you
Fun is good.
There's been a couple of. I look at a lot of NFTs and stuff, but there's one that is on Sologenics. And I really, really think this is really cool. This is a really well executed NFT set. And it's called the Elite XRPig Club, and I'll show it to you here. There it is right there. Look at that. It consists of 1,000 one-of-a-kind pieces, initially only 100 NFTs. They've already been minted on the XRP ledger. Afterwards, special theme drops will be released to complete our club, up to a maximum of about 1,000 unique artworks, each attribute handcrafted. But look at some of these. These are really fantastic looking. Now, if you look at the snout, you can see that that's got the XRP logo in there, and they're 3D, but they got really cool backgrounds. You got the laser eyes, the viewer right there, tongue, good looking stuff. You can see how different they are. It's the same posture, but look at all the things that are going on that are different, which is really amazing. It's
Very
cool stuff. I just think it's a really sharp. I saw some of these are selling. Look at this.
I like that one right there. Look at that with the
10,000
metallic.
XRP. You can have it,
Nice.
Jeff, for 10,000 XRP right there. So a lot of these people already own them. They're reselling them. There's the beard. There's cigarette. It's just cool.
Very
That's not
cool.
a cigarette, is it, Jeff?
Yeah, looks like a cigarette.
Yeah. Okay. And you got the SEC one. That's the XRPig.
That's
Right.
funny.
Now that one right there is pretty cool. Look at the little hair on the side with the little eyebrows, cheesy little tie.
Yeah, I love it.
That one's good. That's a fun one to own. So there you go, right there.
Hilarious.
Yeah. So anyway, that's a cool looking project. Thought that was really neat. Thought that was really interesting. And then also too, now you want to talk about? I tell you, there's just so much fire and freedom going on here. Now David Schwartz put this up, and I have to say this is really thought provoking here.
I kind of agree with Legendary. The Ledger City Ducks are very cool.
They are very cool. They are super cool.
And by the way, Chip,
yes,
coming up in March 9th, on the schedule right now, we have the CEO behind Ledger City will be here with us on the chain to talk about Ledger City. And this week, actually, we have to go up on the website's probably like maybe 6 days away. The registration for Ledger City begins. So I think that could be really, really cool. And I want to thank GDLT for, talking about Ledger City quite a bit and bringing it to the forefront to the community to
man.
make sure that we all
Jeez.
knew about it.
Yeah, and he's like one of the early YouTubers that I followed, quite honestly. I remember when he used to do it out of his backyard and used to see LA in the background, and he just sit there and talk, and it was great, man. It was like an intimate. It was always, hanging out with people, and this is probably going back 3 years or so or plus.
Didn't GDLT start on Twitch?
I don't think so. I thought he started on. I remember watching his early YouTube stuff. Yeah, I was, I didn't see him right away because I knew it was if I remember, but he'll tell us in the chat. But right here, this is pretty good. This is so David Schwartz says, so he's commenting on this article. This Trudeau vows to freeze anti-mandate protesters' bank accounts. Okay, and that's coming out of U.S. and Canada news. And then David Schwartz, the chief tech officer for Ripple, says the war on cash was always about political and social control outside the process of law. And he links to this right here. And he says, if you don't think I committed a crime, why freeze my bank account? If you think I committed a crime, why not? Charge me with that crime so that I can be appropriately punished. Oh, right. If you charge me, you have to prove it. And then I have due process rights. What do you think about that, Jeff?
Man, that's what can you think? That's spot on. and that's exactly it. It's like, how in the world? I look at this and they say they're gonna block their checking accounts, their cash flow. They were stealing the wood from their wood pile. The things they were doing just outlandish. And somehow they're rationalizing that it's okay what they're doing. Arrest them and bring them to court, and then charge them with a crime. You can't all of a sudden, if the leader of a country can just wave his magic wand and say shut their bank accounts down. I mean, it's crazy. It's just absolutely insane. We can't even. It's like we would probably have the YouTube channel shut down if we spent all of our time focused on that stuff. But Matt Hamilton, speaking of Apex, the videos from the Apex conference last year are now on the XRPLF YouTube channel. So
why don't you drop it in there, Matt? Drop that in there.
Drop of the link.
Drop the link.
Drop of the link.
And then I want to comment on some masterful trolling from none other than Santiago Velez. He's a co-founder and R&D division lead from Block Digital. But this was pretty masterful, and I just want you guys to let us know what you think about it.
The Ottawa police has resigned.
Yeah, a lot of that's happening.
And K-HUD, David Schwartz is the greatest
of all
time.
Yeah, I still think that's funny where one celebrity called another celebrity the GOAT, and she was upset. She says, "I'm not a GOAT." She's giving her a compliment, but that was somebody. It's called Meryl Streep the GOAT. She thought she really called her a GOAT. So there you go. But so let's check this out right here. This is a really awesome. So some trolling. This was on Saturday, but I kept it. But some trolling for this beautiful morning is in order. A16Z is a Silicon Web Valley 2 supporter, and you guys know them as Andreessen Horowitz. Silicon Valley Web 2 supporter platforms building Web 3 applications on top of public permissionless networks. Case in point, Opensea, funded in a Series A. Its VCs all the way down. Evidence of the support, widely public, as can be seen here. There it is right there. Talking about investing in Opensea. Opensea generates incredible revenues, extractive rent in the form of fees from its users, which builders of ETH cheer on because it feeds the deflationary burn narrative and the incessant battle with the BTC maxis. Got to love it. And he's just commenting on that tweet. So it just so happens that Nike's launched a digital initiative via its purchase of RTFXT Studios in an attempt to create a digital brand exclusively in the metaverse. Think aspirational social signaling, less about athletes, more about Nike and BAC, right? Huh? Interesting. Nike sues StockX, South Park trolls A16Z. That was funny. As the digital gold rush ensues, sneaker NFTs. If you don't know this one right here, it's a great site. Live marketplace for authentic products. So people are basically reselling, Air Jordans and all kinds of cool stuff over there.
Oh yeah.
And so this was it right here, Nike versus StockX.
Gotta love the South Park.
Yeah, you gotta love that. It sounds like someone at Nike's really, really close friends with someone at A16Z. Maybe Mark and John are BFFs from the old eBay days, and maybe one did a solid for another. Maybe by driving traffic to their friend's platform. And there you have it right there. Damn, those mysterious collections of MLTF are packing some work, even though we don't know what's inside. Monolith NFTs are trading for 5 ETH at a time. Definitely
insane.
not for your average Nike sneakerhead. This is about brand.
That's insane. Crazy
5
stuff,
ETH.
Chip. I would just want to, K HUD here, always look to somebody that has more knowledge than you in an understanding to better yourself, and they're better than you. Gotta like that.
That's well
And
said.
then-
Look at this.
And Ryan
It's your
Lewis,
birthday.
his birthday,
It's
25,
your birthday.
and owns way too much XRP.
It's your birthday today, Ryan Lewis. It's your birthday. It's your birthday, Ryan Lewis. And look at this, dude. Boom. Number 2, GDLT became a YouTube member. Appreciate that, G. Always a
New
great
member.
supporter. And you guys, please, you really need, if you want really interesting perspectives on other things going on in the crypto space, please follow GDLT. It's, first of all, his streams are fun. They're enlightening. Jeff, when you watch one of his streams, you always pull something away like, oh, dude, I didn't know that, because he's diving in. He's looking at stuff. He's not talking about Gary all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's really
I don't think
awesome.
he ever has. I don't think he.
I don't think he brings up Gary. I think that's just on. That's just here on the chain. People coming in, not Gary
I like to
again.
goof on it. So look at this, Jeff. Look at that right there. 5 ETH. That is incredible, right?
5
So, hey, we need to be careful here, Mark. We don't
Yeah.
want Nike associated with anything like, an investment contract. That would be bad. Don't worry, brah. I got you. I know a guy. He knows a thing or two about securities. Enter the one and only Mr. William Hinman, the most opinionated commissioner without an official statement to ever walk the halls of the SEC. John, I told you, man, we're good. Oh, and I see you got ex-CFTC Commissioner Brian Quintez. Make sure that ETH remains a commodity. There they are right there. There's your special advisors.
There's your team.
There's your team.
There is the team.
So anyway,
Check
I
it
thought
out.
that was
Sam Ross says there's no way he's going to pay 4K for a JPEG.
Oh boy. I don't know. I mean, my buddy paid 30K for a JPEG, and after owning it for I think less than 3 months, flipped it for 500K. So it's an investment. So that's a pretty good investment. It's pretty
Everybody
solid.
Say goodnight to
will.
Sophie.
Good night, Sophie.
Yeah, check it out. Who let the Bulls out, man? Another one. We haven't seen Who Let the Bulls Out on for a long
hell
time.
No, we have not.
Good to see you back on. GTLT is the real deal Holyfield.
Real deal Holyfield. Remember that?
Do. And then K HUD use Listerine.
Jeff, this was
and look at this nice statement. You guys are like family to me. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you too,
dude. Yeah, we gotta have him back on here. It's always fun having G on this. We gotta start bringing him. Gotta bring him on here, especially he's been giving so much to the. So this one right here, Jeff, check this out. Now this is when you know something good's going on. This was, by the way, this was brought to my attention by others.
Hey Chip, before you do that, look at this. Chris Donlevy over here in Scotland, 1:50 a.m. Time to go to sleep. Hit the like, peeps. Much respect. Thank you for being on here. We have this whole European contingent and UK contingent, Scottish, Australian, Asian,
the original freedom
India,
fighters,
Africa, people all over the place.
If you want to look at Scotland, check out the history. You want to look at freedom, you want to look at badasses, take a look at Scotland. Look no further if you want. And if you want amazing whiskey, Scotland really has a lot going on. It's a lot
of good
incredible.
Scotch over there in Scotland.
Yeah. The Ely, everything, man. It's man. So let's look at this, Jeff. I was like, someone brought this to my attention. Larry David may be late to the crypto party, but it's never too late to start using Ledger to secure, store, and manage your crypto. Now check it out, Jeff. They retweeted my posting of
Look at that.
the Larry David
Who
commercial.
retweeted the Ledger? Nice.
Yeah, that
Ledger
was,
retweeted your post. Nice. That's awesome.
this is really like, this is kind of like this, like, you know, the character he's playing is kind of like a Gary Gensler in this commercial. Don't you think, Jeff?
Yeah, it was really funny. I thought it was pretty
I love
hilarious.
Larry David. I thought it
Starting
was well
with
done.
the wheel, you know, the
Nah,
light
that's not
bulb.
ready to
That was
take off.
hilarious.
Nah,
It was
come on,
really
that's
funny.
stupid. It's like magic internet money. Come on, dude. No one's ever going to go for that. It's the dumbest thing ever.
Yeah, Ryan Lewis, Jeff and Chip. When I visit the States, are we going to drink a fine whiskey?
Oh, hell
Game
yeah,
of
we will.
poker, cigar, whiskey, crypto. Let's go. Come on over here. We definitely will. That'd be
We will.
awesome.
We've met
got
Jeff
some
and I
good
have
whiskey
certainly
bars
met
here.
folks from the chat. We've actually met. We looked this up and got together and had a beer on the beach. What do you think about that? What do you
Very
think
cool.
about it, Jeff?
You think about it.
What do you got, Jeff? Anything?
No, I thought you were pulling something up.
I gotta find
You
it.
got
Though, 'cause
something lined up over there.
I do,
So-
but it was something that was in the key. But you know how that goes, Jeff.
All right. Well, while you're doing that, let me pull this up because it's kind of crucial news as we're speaking of it. Then we'll get back to some of those other comments that just came through. But LBRY, right now, this is crazy because this has been dragging on 196 weeks. At the last minute, the SEC wants to pause our court case for another 8 weeks to collect more evidence, right? It seems like they're buying themselves time because it's already been open for 196 weeks. I mean, this is insane how long this has been going on. We've complied every step of the way, providing over 1 million pages of documents. These people are evil. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say, to that. And it's just kind of like spot on, and then you've got some, commentary. Here you've got XRP crypto. If is the SEC understaffed or is no one actually working there? Otherwise, why are they delaying every single lawsuit that they've started? And here it says SEC doesn't have resources to go after every offender, and SEC rarely ever takes on cases they don't believe they can win settlement judgments, to look the other way and go extort someone else. Yeah, crazy commentary. I mean, they sure are. These acts will never be forgotten. What do you think, man? I mean, what do you think of this LBRY, right? Why another 8 weeks? They've already been at it. So had they taken this on, you think, hey, they already have the evidence. They got the goods. They need more goods.
Well, I remember we interviewed the CEO a couple of years, maybe a year and a half ago back.
Yep.
And, all of our, LRBY, I pronounce LBRY, but all of our stuff is on the Odyssey. So all of our videos after this end up on Odyssey. It's a decentralized platform. You earn tokens, and that's what they're going after. They're like, well, you can't do that. We can't have that. But think about the fact they could have gone after Ethereum that really had an ICO, but they're going after LBRY. Okay. I mean, seriously, Jeff, it's incredible, right? You got to throw that up there.
Throw that. Look at that, K-HUD. Chip, stop looking under his kilt.
Don't look under the kilt. Don't want to feel insecure. Damn.
I don't want you to feel insecure.
Damn. Oh, I can read it any way I want, Jeff. I can read it any way I want. So everybody knows by now.
You know Glint Play?
What's that?
You know anything about Glint Pay?
I do not, Jeff.
I don't either.
But everybody by now knows the Coinbase, right? It was the floating little. It was the floating. What do you call it? The
icon, the QR code.
There was a QR code floating around. So FTX trolled Coinbase with this, Jeff. And this right here is Sam Bankman-Fried's hair flying around the screen. Like, this is like the greatest thing I've ever seen.
That's
I'm like,
unreal.
This is one of the most amazing trolls I've seen. One exchange troll another exchange. I don't know who puts this together, how fast they got this up, but Sam Bankman-Fried's hair bouncing around the same similar fashion to the Coinbase, where it was the QR code bouncing around like Pong, like a game of Pong. Just absolutely What an amazing troll. Just
That's
fantastic,
awesome.
Jeff. Got to give them such someone wrote, this is epic. Oh my God, legend. The devil works hard, but Sam Bankman's freed hair and social media team works harder.
That's funny. Man, Mel G made it. Mel G is here. Finally made it on Tuesday night.
This one. Oh, this is crazy, dude. And then, of course, there's the Digin coin flip. Everybody got into it. Yeah, remember that one? That was the original. That was the original one.
That's great.
All you have to do is
classic.
map it. That was. You remember that? Someone had said it wasn't the DVD thing. I'm like, who remembers, really, man?
Exactly what it was. It's the bounce around in your DVD player.
Yeah, Henry says, respect. Instead of celebrating or watching the Super Bowl, the FTX marketing team went to work and responded to Coinbase's ad on Sunday night. The difference between a good company and an excellent one. This should be marketing course case study. But
you're right, 100%.
But which one? What I'd like to know is the real numbers, Jeff. Who actually got the better numbers, right? Was it Coinbase? Was it FTX? My inkling is that it's probably Coinbase just because of the novelty of it all. Maybe the more staying power will be, the Larry David was just an epic proportion. Just, again, the concept behind it. Just fun, man. Just a lot of fun.
G said #1 call to action during the Super Bowl.
Well, that's true. It's called CTAs or what it's all about, man. That's what it's all about, Jeff. So do you guys want to watch that Ledger one? Do you guys want to see that one? Or should we watch it again? You have time, Jeff? Or
can we watch it?
Why not? It's a commercial.
So Glint Pay, it says gold is security. Glint is key. Use real gold as everyday, instant, secure, and reliable money. That's Glint Pay.
Well, good for that.
It's all about the gold. That's it. Trust in gold.
Hey, must be the money.
Apparently, it's over in the UK because it's definitely not here in the US.
Yeah, I don't know anything about it, Jeff.
They have a UK country code.
Is there anybody that hasn't seen this? But I think it's worth seeing. Just kind of like as the last bit here.
Gold versus crypto. Oh, there we go.
I call it the wheel.
I don't think so. This is a miss.
Rosenthal is behold the fork.
I got 10 forks right here, baby. What? We're not animals. We go outside like humans.
Hancock.
No king.
The people shall have the right to vote.
Even the stupid ones?
Yeah.
Listen, can I be honest with you? It stinks. Nobody's going to the moon, ever. Why not? It's far. It's too far. It's far.
の未来はポータブルミュージックです。
バカか。出ていけ。語りがいてもいるぞ。語り。
Like I was saying, it's FTX. It's a safe and easy way to get into crypto.
Yeah, I don't think so. And I'm never wrong about this stuff. Never.
That was good. Don't
be like
Larry.
Don't be like Gary. He's a Gary. Gensler is what he is right there. Yeah.
Gary, Larry, and Gary.
Yeah, exactly, man.
That's too much.
Well, anyway, Jeff.
Too much funny stuff.
It was good stuff, right?
That was awesome, man. Phoenix Starborn too.
My God, Phoenix Starborn,
struggling to get back on feet from a year and a half ago. Can you believe it's been that long since?
I cannot, man.
Lost everything, man. That's great. I'm glad that you're making your way back and you're back here with us.
Yeah, man, it's really good to see you, man. Hope you're keeping well. I know, man. It's tough when you have great bad things happen to great people. It's one of those things that no bueno. What was it? I still have this thing playing in the background. I'm like, how do I shut it off, Jeff? It's like the only one that hears it is me. It's
man, everybody's here.
Everybody is here. The whole gang is here.
K Hud, how many times do I have to tell this guy?
As many times as it takes. You know how that goes. But Jeff, you know what time it is?
It is that time. That time comes around every show, and it is that time. And we do stream 6 days a week, Sunday through Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and every Saturday morning, except for this past Saturday when we streamed on Sunday instead of Saturday, but that was still at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it was still a really great show, and everybody had a lot of fun. So With that, make sure you hit that subscribe button because it's flashing in front of me, so I had to say it. And all that other great stuff. We'll be back on again tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it's going to be a blast.
Be a blast.
It's going to be a blast.
It's good to be
Ralph
back, Jeff.
Cooper says, sorry, I can't keep up with you, but here you are. You're still there.
But
There
you're
he
still
is.
hanging in there.
And Tony Baggs is here. Man, everybody's here.
They're
So
all
that's it.
here. That's all we got.
Hands loaded. Check it out. Check out the other channel. We got 3 more clips that we got to get posted onto the other channel that were cut up and produced over there.
Yeah,
by
subscribe below.
Unloaded.
It's in there. It's in the description.
And that's it. We got a lot of things we'll talk about tomorrow night. So with that, Chip,
We are out of here. Chip and Jeff are out. Out.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.